I have here, I've run this analysis, a cross-tabulation that tests the hypothesis. In a comparison of individuals, those who make lower incomes are more likely to identify with the Democratic Party than those who make high incomes. This crosstab is set up according to protocol. There are 3 rules that you must follow when you set up a cross-tabulation. The first rule is always put the independent variable, in this case income, on the columns of the cross-tabulation, and therefore always put the dependent variable on the rows of the cross-tabulation. The second rule is always percentage the independent variable, never percentage the dependent variable. I know this sounds strict, but it's a very easy mistake to make. For example, notice these 829 low-income people represent 39.3% of all low-income people. So you can see the distribution of partisanship for low-income individuals, those in the middle-income range, and those in the high-income range. The third rule of construction, or I guess cross-tabulation interpretation, is to interpret the relationship by reading across columns at the same value of the dependent variable. So for example, we could compare the percentage of low-income people who are Democrats, middle-income people who are Democrats, high-income people who are Democrats. You can see it's about a 10 percentage, from 39 to 29, it's about a 10 percentage point drop. So it looks like the hypothesis has merit. How did I set this up? Let me show you. Cross-tabulation analysis is in a familiar drop-down here. Analyze descriptive statistics, crosstabs. You see, here's the opening window. For our purposes in this chapter, you can ignore this bottom window, layer 1 of 1. That comes into play in the next chapter. Rows and columns. Dependent variable goes in rows, independent variable goes in columns. Let's find the independent variable first. This was a variable that you created in chapter 3. It's income terciles. Inc group 3, we named it. That's the independent, so where does it go? In the columns. The dependent is PID3, which is a 3-category measure of partisanship. We've already seen how it's coded. We looked at the crosstab. That goes in rows. Independent variable defines the column, dependent variable defines the rows. Now, to get percentages, the percentages we want, click cells. By default, SPSS gives us observed frequencies. They're just the raw numbers of respondents in each cell. That's fine. We always want that. We'll leave that alone. But to get the correct percentages, the way we've set it up, get column percentages. You know, don't click all these. Only always click column. Continue. Okay. And there is the crosstab that we just created.